Hey everyone, welcome to another 902 gaming video. And today I'm just going to go over a couple of the new Neon Destiny spoilers. I had a video done today where I played some of the new decks from yesterday. Unfortunately, the sound didn't work, so it might have had something to do with me muting my microphone by mistake. But I'll get another one up tomorrow. I'll have to redo that video and get another one. So I decided to do a quick one here and just have a look at the new spoilers for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. So first up, we have Ganjo, Seat of the Empire. So legendary land. It comes into play untapped. It's great. And then you can discard it for 3 mana to deal 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. It gets reduced by 1 for each legendary creature you control. So it's very similar to the card that was posted, Takanuma, the Abandoned Mind. Has the channel, it's a land, legendary land. So essentially what it is once you get your first one out, because you can count that as a land, I think it's a move towards, I don't know if I said this in the previous spoiler video, but actually that's a really sweet swamp there too. Cool. If I said it in the previous video or not, but they're really moving towards this thing where you can have lands that count as spells as well, which I think helps with the mulliganing decisions and the potential land screws and then flooding out and stuff like that. When you can have a bunch of lands that also count as spells or something else, it makes those less and less frequent. So in a sense, it does reduce some of the random elements of Magic, though sometimes like drawing this when you've drawn a bunch of lands already doesn't help you any. I think it's just another card that's going to slot into mono white. I think it's an auto include. I think all of the legendary lands are likely just going to be an auto include. They'll just replace basic planes. I don't know if there's going to be something where you're going to be able to play, like maybe a 3-color deck or something like that. They don't tend to play too many basic lands, although in a sense you probably could. But Field of Rune's still a thing, so it's very possible that they only get seen in maybe 2-color decks, or although I don't see them replacing the creature lands anytime soon. So this one deals 4 damage. It can reduce, so basically it can be a Swords to Plowshare. So basically 1 white mana if you have 2 legendary creatures out, and deals 4 damage to attacking or blocking creature. It's a fine card. It'll see play for sure. There's not really much else to say about it. I think I'm hoping there's going to be 2 cycles of legendary lands for each color, but probably not. I'm assuming this is going to be the only thing that we see out of this. And then we have the next card. We have a Ganjo Uprising, and it's 1 red and 1 white and an X. And then you create X 2/2 samurai creature tokens with vigilance. They also gain menace and haste until end of turn. So the turn after this one, they won't have menace. And then your opponent also creates X -1 white samurai tokens with vigilance. So, although I have to say I do like this border. This border I like much, much better than the Crimson Vow special border. So essentially, if X is 4, so let's say 6 mana, you would create 4 2/2 samurai tokens, and your opponent would create 3 2/2 samurai tokens. Now your tokens will have menace and haste. So basically, what ends up happening there is if you attack with all 4, they can only block 1 of them because they'll have 3 creatures out, and menace you have to block with 2 creatures. So essentially, you'll have 3 creatures that'll be able to get through for 6 damage. So I don't know how. This is one of those cards that's a little bit difficult to evaluate because for 6 mana, it's essentially a fireball that deals 6 damage. It's, I guess, be a best way to look at it, provided they have no more blockers or anything like that. But if there's also the possibility that if you have something pumping it, so It's one of those. It's a card that I typically enjoy. It's not the colors that I enjoy it in. However, it's one where if you can find a way to break the symmetry of the card, um, it's first of all, it's extremely fun to actually be able to break the synergy of a card, and second of all, it leads to very very powerful combination decks or very very powerful, just a very very powerful deck in general. So I can see this card slotting particularly into my Burning Man deck with Ganjo Uprising and Wedding Announcement, which pumps all your creatures. So in that sense, I could see it being a very good card in that style of deck. I think it could just potentially just be a good card anyway. Like I said, I think it's just a fireball for 6 mana. It's going to deal 6 damage to your opponent because you'll have 3 unblockable creatures. Now that's, again, mind you, they don't have any other creatures or something. However, if you're not able to break the symmetry, or they have other creatures, or if it's not to kill them, that might be where you might not see 4 copies of this card. So it might be a 1 or 2 of something like that. It could slot into the red-white aggressive deck that was out a little while ago. I think there's a video up on the channel about that as well, although I don't think I had the best of luck with that deck. Something like this could break that symmetry. If something comes out in one of these 2 colors, or potentially maybe even something like black, or something that your opponent's creatures get -1/-1, or or I guess even just pumping your own creatures, I could see this seeing a lot of play. X spells in general tend to be played very very heavily, especially if they're even moderately good. And I think 6 mana for 6 damage just on its own, with no other creatures in play or no other effects in play, I think it's still pretty good. I don't think it's that terrible. So I think it scales better. So a 5 mana, you would gain 3 tokens, and they would have 2. So they would still be able to block 1 creature. So you're going to get through 4 damage for 5 mana. So at 3 mana, you're generating a 2/2 haste vigilance menace creature. So that's not bad. That's not terrible, because they're not going to get a blocker out of that. So that's not horrible. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's also not horrible. At 4 mana, you're dealing 4 damage. At 5 mana, you're still dealing 4 damage. So, and then 6 and 7, and it just scales up from there. So I think it's a fairly good, not kind of mild spoilers today. Nothing amazing. But very interesting card. And I guess we'll see a cycle of channel lands. If I had to guess, the green one will pump a creature. Either +2/+2 or +3/+3, maybe +4/+4. The blue one will probably either draw a card, or maybe make a clone of something. That would be kind of cool. And the red one will likely just deal damage. Well, I guess the white one deals damage, so maybe the red one potentially could create tokens, so creature tokens. That's my guess, anyway. Anyways, quick video today. I'll have another video up tomorrow with some of the new deck lists that were just posted yesterday. Anyways, hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next one.